Hello everyone, Cannon here, and it's September already. Time is really going fast, so it's time for another CannonChat. So, for background footage, I have just Path of Exile here, playing my somewhat new Divine Ire build with Doriani's prototype, and I was just going to run a few maps with that in the background while I talk about a few things. And I do, in fact, actually have a few topics I would like to cover in this month's CannonChat, and one of them is the very huge announcement of the new graphics cards from Nivida. So, they announced on September 1st the 3000 series. And according to their graph, so, of course, that kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. According to the one that I would be looking at, the 3080, is about 3 times as fast as my current video card. So, that is massive, and I do believe that is including ray tracing as well. I'm not 100% sure. That was probably something that maybe that you need to take into account when looking at their graph for the performance, is whether or not they included that in there. Because if it's 3 times as fast, including ray tracing, that's huge. Absolutely huge. And Karui Ward that I don't need. So with that, I'm thinking about getting one. Now I'm gonna wait until there are reviews to see if it's really as good as Nvidia is claiming it to be. I hope it is. And the last time I upgraded my computer was when I replaced the GPU with or at least I do believe it's a GPU. I'm not super proficient in the names of computer parts and whatever. But I upgraded from, or maybe it's a processor. Maybe that's the right word. Right part. I upgraded from an i7 something. I'm not 100% sure what it was, to being an AMD 3900, I do believe.
Gather them quickly.
The one that was 16 cores, 32 threads is the one that I'm referring to, and that did quite a massive bump on the performance of my computer. Since I have a 1080 video card, which is actually still pretty good, well, until the 3000 series comes out, then it won't be. But in comparison to the 2000 series, realistically, the 2000 series, unless you really need ray tracing, the 1080 wasn't really that far behind. The 2000 series wasn't a huge upgrade, and I decided to skip it. And it turns out that I made the right choice there, because not only was the 2000 series really expensive in comparison to the 1000 series, but it wasn't really a big enough jump to really justify paying a huge amount for that. I paid around $500 for a 1080, and I think I bumped up from a 970 to a 1080, so that was quite a big improvement. And then the bottleneck was my my processor, which now my video card is. So the 3000 series announcement kind of got me really excited on doing computer upgrades again. And hopefully it'll work out to being as good as Nivida was saying, or at the very least being a huge improvement over what I already have. And of course... So yeah, I'm doing a map that has a lot of chaos damage, and I don't have really any chaos resistance at all. Yeah, negative 13%, so basically I'm going to have to continuously potentially getting killed, chipping away at the boss. You know, it's just really something in this game where they really oh, I actually got him with only one death. That's kind of surprising. Where they've been pushing more and more to get more chaos damage into the game, and yet they don't make chaos resistance really that available. So most of the time, pretty much all of my characters have negative chaos resistance. But anyway, more on topic here. So with that announcement, like I said, that got me really excited to see about massively improving my computer. Extra damage is cold. And I can't even run that. Very good. Extra damage is lightning. Vulnerability. I guess. But yeah, just they did a really good job on that announcement, and like I keep saying, I really hope that it's as good as they're saying it is. And when I improve my computer, I'm sure I'm going to mention it somewhere, either in that month's CannonChat video or a separate news video or something along those lines. Because that is really exciting. The other thing is what I would do with that ability. I don't really play any games that are like hugely computing power intensive, unless you consider Path of Exile being one. Considering what builds you do, it is quite computing power intensive. But most games that I play aren't really that. Like the most computing power intensive game is like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which was made in like 2015, I do believe, roughly. So I mean, it's not like I'm playing like the most top-end games that are released this year and whatnot. So what I would do with that, I was thinking about possibly playing Minecraft seriously for the very first time. And I say that because I've played Minecraft before, and I never really cared for the concept of making your own fun. Sandbox games in general just weren't really what I have been interested in, especially when I was younger. But I've been watching some playthroughs of Minecraft by some of the bigger YouTubers such as Markiplier, and even some of Jacksepticeye's old Minecraft playthrough that he finished last year, apparently. And I have gotten an appreciation for it, and I wanted to play it with ray tracing on, and obviously the 1080, as far as I'm aware anyway, it doesn't have the compatibility of doing ray tracing at all. So that is definitely something I would want to try out. The other thing too is that I have been doing at least some research in a sense of doing some more video editing related stuff. And in general, in my videos, I don't really do a ton of video editing to really add to it. I just have never really been super skilled at doing that. Mostly because I never really spent the time to learn how to make edits that are productive to what I'm making. And since YouTube was, and still is, mostly a hobby for me, I never really wanted to put in too much time and effort into making it perfect, in a sense. But with Minecraft, I kind of want to try something different. I want to try definitely putting more effort into some video editing and seeing how it works out and everything. And if it works out, I'll try to do more with my other projects. And of course we have a blight that just wants to split everywhere. And then the game crashes. Very good. That is incredible. I have noticed that Path of Exile just loves to just decide to crash at times. And I don't understand why that is. It just seems like, oh, if there's like too many inputs for on screen at once, like for an example, Divine Ire having that many hits on screen, the game just decides to crash quite a bit, and I don't really get why that is. But more onto what I was saying, putting more effort into putting more edits into my videos, because pretty much all I would do is, oh, and we failed, no kidding. Thank you, Path of Exile, deciding to poop itself. That was very nice of you. And now I completely lost my train of thought, but yes. So for Minecraft would definitely be kind of like an experiment of putting a lot more effort on the editing side of things instead of just kind of posting videos as is and seeing how it goes. And like I said, if it works out, then I'll do more on my other future projects on that regard. And I don't know when I would start that, if it would be like right after I upgrade or what. At this point in time, many of you might have noticed that I haven't really uploaded a lot since I kind of finished up Fatal Bullets things. I'm not completely done with the game, but after I tried to do the Abyssal Dungeon, I kind of just stopped. And that is because I'm not 100% sure how I want to end off that game other than finishing and that stupid boss right here, using chaos as well as yes. This is the reason why I have always really kind of wanted to make a Chaos Inoculation character, because I am really tired of dealing with chaos damage. Just in general. Because, like I said, most of my characters have negative chaos res, and if you want maxed out chaos res, you're pretty much... You pretty much can't use unique items unless those said unique items also add to chaos damage, or else you're just not gonna be capped. So whenever you face bosses like this, you get instantly obliterated by Caustic Arrow and whatnot. Fun. You know, and losing 10% of my XP every time that happens. Yes. Okay. Desecrated ground, of course. Let's do some delving, actually. Hopefully I have enough. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. Is getting a 3080 and then doing a Minecraft playthrough. Now, on the YouTube side of things, I'm not really sure how I want to end off Fatal Bullet and trying to start other projects such as Portal. I did want to start something, but I'm just not really sure how I would do it. And whenever I thought about doing Portal, I just wasn't really sure the direction I wanted to go for commentary. Because the thing is that I kind of feel like the games that I don't really have anything specific to talk about or really think about for the gameplay, those commentaries kind of end up being lackluster, to say the least. And the series that, like Bendy and the Ink Machine, where I had a lot more things that I thought of to talk about, ended up being much, much better. So, starting new projects, that's kind of what is on my mind right now. And my family, my immediate family, has been doing some important things for the future that I've been involved with. So that has also been taking up my time and thought process. So that has definitely been on effect as well. But yeah, that is really exciting. And for the 3000 series coming out, and being actually manageable because they're not superly overpriced. They're under $1,000 for really good cards. Not sure why it made a new instance for that, but okay. Besides that, I have tried playing Call of Duty Black Ops multiplayer with the training mode, or yeah, I think it's called combat training, where you just fight bots, which in my mind is basically the only multiplayer game mode I would probably be playing now. Since I haven't really done anything with first-person shooters in a while, and man, my skills have just evaporated over the years, and I can definitely tell with World of Tanks and stuff, I'm definitely not nearly as good as I used to be, and if I played a lot now, my win rate before, or at least what it says currently, it says that I have a, like 52% win rate, but honestly, if I played with my current skill level, it would probably be more like 49 or so. So when it comes to playing first-person shooters and stuff, possibly maybe I'm gonna have to refresh some of my skills. I'm sure Half-Life wouldn't really be too much, because it's I mean, even on hard difficulty, for the most part, from my experience playing Half-Life 2 on hard, that wasn't really super difficult, other than like a few select segments that were pretty much already hard on normal, and hard mode just made it even more difficult. And yeah, I know I'm not really getting any of the fractured walls or anything. I'm mainly just going for depth. Primarily because I'm only on monster level 74, and that's not really enough to really worry about fractured walls. So that has also been kind of on my mind as well. So I'm not really 100% sure what I'm going to do next. And maybe I should have definitely been spending more time in Path of Exile, because I did get this character to level 87, but in all honesty, I wanted her higher than that before I do the build guide on this character. And also, Warmonger hasn't made the final 2 items for me yet, so my staff is not exactly amazing, and I'm not super high level. Well, I mean, 87 is pretty decent, actually, but really getting into the 90s is kind of where it's at. Where really what you should shoot for. And then the last ring, I don't have a really good ring on that slot either. And then for my other characters, since they were kind of generic, and I didn't really... Yeah, thanks, Mining Cart. Since they weren't really min-maxed really at all, and they didn't have the most gear, the best gear whatsoever, I'm probably not even gonna bother doing anything with those. Just because I think the Divine Ire build definitely, since it's, well, quite frankly, a lot more fun, and since it's more fleshed out, that is why doing a build guide on this one primarily makes the most sense. Because I think, in a way, like, seeing it min-maxed and like doing like a tier 16 map and whatever, that is kind of what people are looking for, rather than, you know, doing tier 10 maps or something and not having any min-maxing at all and being like level 80. Like, that's just not what I think people are looking for when they're looking at a build guide. They're more looking for what is the final product, in a sense. And I can definitely understand that. That's what I would do if I was looking for build guides as well. But on the topic of commentary, I do actually have more of a relative idea of what I would talk about in Minecraft, so it's not going to be something like I'm going to completely run out of ideas. And also, considering that I haven't really played Minecraft before, I think that would, or anytime recently, that would definitely have an effect on that. So, is there anything else that I wanted to mention? Well, the big thing was the 3080 announcement. And while there has been some real-life stuff, like, they haven't, even though that they have taken my time, I think it's more so of me, like, not sure how to proceed as being, for YouTube videos of, and thinking about what I should be doing and stuff has really been taking away from my ability of making more stuff, and how to finish up Fatal Bullet, since There's only like one thing that I want to specifically do, besides finishing the Abyssal Dungeon, I guess. And then that's pretty much it. I could also do... This mining cart has been all over. I guess I should have went down here, actually. I could also do a playthrough of, like, Call of Duty World at War and stuff. At some point I do plan to, but I'm not really sure when I'm going to. Like, something like Portal 1 and stuff. Like, that was just kind of what I was thinking before doing any, like, super time-consuming projects. But yeah, I'm just really not sure what all I want to do for that. And I'm glad to get some Path of Exile action on one of these, because it seems like most of the CannonChat videos that I do, I show like World of Warplanes or something. And well, it's a fun game at times. Since I'm definitely not a World of Warplanes YouTuber, and since the player base for World of Warplanes is still quite small, that's probably not at least the most relatable footage to show. Like for Path of Exile, why does that stop you from moving? That's kind of dumb, but okay.
Far too much baggage.
Oh yeah. I just feel like, at least to a degree, a good chunk of my viewers are only here for Path of Exile stuff. So, which makes sense. I do think that some of my more popular builds that I've made definitely were stuff that I was more proud of, and that were more fleshed out than some of my other stuff. And I think I can turn all these in.
Hello.
Okay. So I think before I stop it here, I do want to mention that as of right now, anyway, I haven't started on the Resident Evil 1 remake review, and I think for the most part I'm gonna want to try to put in a lot more effort into the editing to it. So that has definitely been something that I've been kind of procrastinating on. And I really want to be a lot more professional on my reviews. Like for the walkthroughs, well, let's plays of the games, I just kind of want to have fun with them. But for the reviews specifically, I want to be a lot more professional and a lot more thought out than my Let's Plays are. And especially with a game as popular as Resident Evil 1 Remake, I do want to definitely put all my thoughts together, like I mentioned at the end of that Let's Play, before I move forward with it. And I have to say, delving is just so much more fun than maps. It's kind of ridiculous. You know, it's fast-paced. You don't have to worry about items, and you don't have to deal with chaos damage. As well as, you don't have to deal with map mods that are just going to instantly obliterate your character. I mean, granted that this is only level 75, but I'm gaining more experience here than I am, than I am doing maps, that's for sure. Yeah, I've, ever since, ironically, after Delve League has, the Delve mechanic has been kind of the most fun that I've had, with Path of Exile, because it's not as dangerous as maps, so you don't constantly lose experience, so you can actually level up, and then it's a lot more fast-paced, and you just don't have to think about, oh, well, you don't have to think about the map mods, you don't have to think about, like, what items you pick up until the very end, where you don't have to deal with any monsters, so you don't have the instances of picking up an item and then dying from something off screen or something dumb like that. Okay, this one's close enough that I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. Chaos Orb. I guess that's enough. I guess also just to talk about Heist League, I think it might be interesting. I mean, I have been impressed with what Grinding Gears Games have come up with for the league mechanics, but at the same time, it might be one of those leagues like Harvest that it is too technical to my taste, where I just lose interest faster than some of the other leagues, and then I just don't do anything for the rest of the league, and I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, but I do think that the ideas that the idea of Heist League isn't bad at all. So I'm gonna definitely, just like any league, give it a try. But I might put a bit more effort into finding out what build I want to do. Because currently I'm thinking of doing like a Bladefall Blade Blast build, and I'm not sure how well that would work because you are relying on 2 skills.
Oh, I heard someone. Yeah, well.
So, I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Just, I'm not really 100% sure what I'm going to be doing next, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do for finishing up Fatal Bullet, as well as what project I'm going to start next. So yeah, that's definitely what has been on my mind on the YouTube side of things, but also the idea of upgrading my computer once again is definitely really exciting to me. So that has been pretty much what has been happening in the past month, is those announcements and then that last thing. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.